Pooja and welcome to Food Without Borders. Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple vanilla sponge cake. Now, I am so new to baking that every time I bake a cake, I keep my fingers crossed. And as I learn, I feel like there are a lot of us out there who are new to baking. And so I am trying to simplify the technique and let you know how I bake the cake and bake to success. So let's get started. So folks, I have my oven preheating at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 176.7 degrees Celsius. I have also separated the egg whites from the egg yolks. And first we'll deal with the egg yolks and then we can work with the egg whites. So here into the egg whites, I am going to add some sugar, butter, milk. And I am going to whisk this until this is all well combined. Alright, this looks like the butter has curdled, but it has not. I promise it should be fine. Now I have some all-purpose flour which is unbleached. To this I will add some baking powder and just add this to the existing batter here. So folks, when I whisk this, I will make sure that the butter has completely dissolved and everything turns into a smooth paste. Alright, I am going to quickly scrape the sides of the bowl with a spatula, and while I do it, I am also going to add some vanilla extracts here. And for the measurements and ingredients, you can go to my website, which is www.foodwithoutborders.us. I will leave a link to the written version of this recipe in the description box, so you can go check that out. Alright folks, this has turned into a beautiful batter. Now we will work with the egg whites. Now the intent is to turn the egg whites into nice and fluffy, stiff peaks. I have to go wash these paddle attachments here because if I don't do it and if there's even a slight bit of batter on these paddle attachments, that would interfere with the whisking of the eggs. So I'll be back. So folks, now I'm going to whisk this until it turns into stiff peaks. Alright, this is done, and now what I am going to do is incorporate the egg whites with the batter. So what I like to do here is get a little bit of it, about 1/4 of it, let's just say, or 1/3, more like that, and then just mix it in. And here I'm not being very rigorous about mixing it, but at the same time I'm not also folding it in. That would be the last step. And this is how you get as much air into your batter, and that makes the cake really spongy and soft. Now I am going to add another half of the half that is left. And gently fold it in. All right, look at how nice and fluffy this batter is, guys. Now what I'm going to do is set this aside, get my baking pan, and let's talk about the baking pan. I'm just using a pretty mold to make the cakes because the mold will do all the work and I don't have to do anything extra. But this is a basic cake. You can divide it into half and add it to 2 pans and then have like a sponge cake. You can create a Victoria sponge with this, so your options are unlimited. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spray it with some baking spray, brush it in with a pastry brush so that it hits all the crevices here. I'm going to gently transfer this whole thing in, which is going to be quite a task for me because this bowl is heavy. Oi. Spread it nice and evenly. I'm also going to put a towel here, and you don't have to do this. I just feel like this particular cake pan has a lot of crevices, so I want to make sure that there is no air pockets in the crevices, then it won't look as nicely as I want it to. So I'm just gonna tap it so that all the air comes out. All right, this is done. I'm going to stick this in the oven, and I will come back and let you know how long I left it for, and then we'll do the tasting. I'll be back. So this cooked for about 55 minutes in my oven, so I would say 45 to 55 minutes or almost to an hour. So the way you can tell that it's done is it's sort of golden on the top, but you will have to stick a toothpick or a skewer. I would suggest skewer in this case because this is a deeper pan if you're using something like this, and when it comes out and it's clean, you know it's done. Now also what I'm going to do is run a butter knife around on the perimeters of the cake pan so that I know that the cake has been dislodged, and then we can flip this thing. I also let it sit at room temperature to just cool off for about 10 minutes, and that's the amount of patience I have. But I will let it cool on this cake stand for longer. So here it goes. All right, now let's say a little prayer. Okay. Ooh, pretty. All right, I'm gonna let this cool off for about 30 minutes because I like my cake a little cooler, and I will take some pictures for my blog, and then when I come back we'll cut it and taste it, and I am pretty sure it's amazing. So I'll be back. All right, look at this moist and perfect cake. Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. It's spongy. There is nothing in this world as comforting as a decent slice of cake. You have to give this recipe a try. Like I said before, you can turn them into cupcakes. This is a perfect sponge cake recipe, which is so versatile. You can make it in a bun, you can make it for your Victoria sponge. So give this recipe a try. Let me know what you think. I will leave a written version of this recipe on my blog, and a link to it would be in my description box, so you can go check that out. So I will see you next time. Until then, bye-bye. Oh shit. Is it picking this up?
No problem. That one is not.
Are you sure? I can't.
Should I have to? Or you drop it? I'll just flip it, and then you just continue off the flip.
Okay. I want to see what it is.
Clearly your priority is here.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have strength. Why don't you just flip it?
Okay.
Yeah. Now go. Go.